The Oklahoma Sooners, listen, they are winning right now, and they're addressing their needs in the transfer portal with guys that are going to make an immediate impact for the Sooners. And they just landed another portal commitment this morning in the tight end, former quarterback, Bauer Sharp. And this might be a name that a lot of you guys are not familiar with. It might be a name that doesn't like knock your socks off, knock you out of your seat, and get you super excited, but we're going to tell you why you should be excited. But before we dive into it, thank you for tuning into the PG Show, where we talk about all things college football. But we got to give the Oklahoma Sooners a little bit more love because it's my team and it's the team that you love to hear about. So here's the deal: 80.4, not 84, 80.4% of you guys are not subscribed. So I'm pushing to hit 10,000. So what I need you guys to do is, because the thing is, a lot of you guys have watched my show before and you continue to come back and watch it. So make sure you're subscribed. Look at that subscribe button. And then additionally, if you want to, you can hit the like button and jump down in the comments and join the discussion. But I want you to make sure you got that subscribe button. All right. House cleaning's out of the way. Let's look at Bauer Sharp. So the portal has not brought what some Oklahoma fans have wanted at the tight end position, because you lost Conyers to Texas Tech and Holden Stays to Tennessee. And remember, Holden Stays was supposed to be on campus this past weekend, and then you ended up seeing him commit to the Volunteers. However, I think Oklahoma's going to have found themselves a hidden gem in the transfer portal, because Bauer Sharp was actually wanted by some other Power 5 programs like Utah out of the transfer portal. So here's the deal: if other Power 5 programs want this kid, you know that you potentially want him. Same story for the running back Sam Franklin that we just got the previous week. Same story. Now, here's the deal. A lot of you guys, as I previously said, you might not be familiar with Bauer Sharp, who this kid is, but I'm going to tell you, the dude looks awesome and appears to be graded as just a straight dude, a straight athlete. And I think that's what you're going to see him come into Oklahoma and do. Here's what I mean by that. He came into Southeastern Louisiana as a QB, and he made the switch to tight end. And I think this guy could potentially play a little bit of that hybrid tight end, H-back role, to similar to what you saw Jeremiah Hall do at Oklahoma. I think you're going to see potentially Bowers be able to do something similar to that. In the 2024, your tight end room appears to look like it'll have a lot of upside. So let's run through the tight end room. You're going to have Caden Helms, Blake Smith. You got to see Blake Smith a couple times this season. You got Cade McKinstry, Devon Mitchell, former 5-star tight end before he reclassified to this cycle. A lot of hype around him. He's going to be an early enrollee. So I think you're going to see Devon Mitchell get a lot of time. And then you've also got Josh Faneuil. But here's the problem. When you look at everybody in that room, there's just not a lot of production there. So you imagine Oklahoma's going to go out there, and Bauer Sharp's not going to be, I don't think, their only tight end. I think they might take one more depending on who hits the portal. And you still have not only this portal cycle that we're currently in, but you still have the one in the spring where guys will be eligible in the spring. So although we might not get any more news of the tight end, I mean, and this is all theory crafting and hypotheticals here, because you could have somebody enter in today or tomorrow that Oklahoma wants to go out there and chase and go out there and land. But at the end of the day, I still think you see them hit one more, and it could be this cycle. It could be at the next cycle. But when you look at Bauer Sharp and what he was able to do at Southeastern Louisiana, rushing, he had 25 attempts for 133 yards, 5 touchdowns. He averaged 5.32 yards a carry. Receiving stats, tight end position, 29 receptions, 288 receiving yards, 9.9 yards of reception, and 3 touchdowns. So you can see exactly where I think he might fit in that role for Oklahoma. And then total in his career, he's had 35 attempts at the rushing side, 216 yards, 4.53 average, 5 touchdowns. At the tight end position, 40 receptions, 366 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns. And when you look at how PFF graded Bauer Sharp, he was one of the top tight ends rated per PFF in the transfer portal. So Oklahoma, I feel like this is going to be a hit or miss. And I think it's going to be a huge hit for Oklahoma. I think this is going to be a guy that you're going to see hit the port, or you're going to get to see hit the field quite often. And again, I think you see him more in terms of that hybrid role, kind of like what Jeremiah Hall did. And if you get something like that with what you had previously, oh, man, SEC better look out. This could be a guy that could be an SEC caliber tight end. And you pair him with Devon Mitchell and even some of those wide receivers that you have, I think you're looking pretty good. Now, I think the question is, does Ivan Carrion potentially come be a hybrid tight end, hybrid wide receiver type player? Is that somebody they potentially add to this room? So we'll have to look and see what's going to happen with Ivan Carrion once he gets to campus. I'll be curious to see exactly how Emmett Jones and Joe John Finley decide to do that. But Joe John Finley and Brent Venables, they go out here and get a big win. And this was one that if you're Oklahoma, this is a position that you need to shore up before next season, because the tight end position, I think, is crucial to the SEC, especially with how a lot of these teams play. And if you're Oklahoma, you don't want to go out there and drop the pooch in your first season in the SEC. So, guys, I want to hear from you, and I want to hear what y'all's thoughts are around Bauer Sharp ending up at the University of Oklahoma. And if you have not already, make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe button.